today's live on Equa Television International, and we're so glad that you could join us on today's edition of the program. Unveiling Manipulators is what we are discussing today, and we hope that you don't miss out on this conversation, and also do well to join this conversation by dropping your comment on our social media handles: Facebook, Equa Television International; YouTube at Equa Television International. You know, in our day today, it's important that you recognize, not just recognize, but address manipulators that are around you. And you know, the context always is either personal relationship, professional setting, or even in social interaction. If you're able to identify, if you're able to address manipulators, then you're going to definitely save yourself from any mental health issues. You're going to protect yourself, and as well maintain healthy relationship if you are able to address or identify manipulators. But on this set, we are going to be unveiling who are manipulators. I have Engineer Tony Jane Akali, well seated, able, capacitated. Good morning. Good to have you.
How are you?
I'm good. I trust God that today, from now till the end of this show, this relationship, is going to be swell. No problem, no trouble, no attack, no arguments, no debate.
That's why that woman say you have mouth. That's why that woman say you have. The husband was feeling for you, but
I thought
you
we
remembered your
started
character.
on a good note. So we're sharing biscuits and some snacks, and I thought that's how it's going to end. But it's already getting sour. Jemima and Prudence are right here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's talk about manipulators. I mean, when we posted the topic, a lot of people were commenting and saying, wow, this one hits differently, because we are saying we are unveiling the manipulators. And so some people are just thinking, now in my life, how do they know, or how would they unveil the manipulator in my life? But if you watch this show from now till the end, of course you'll be able to tell who are the people in your life that are actually manipulators, and how can you deal with those people. I mean, how can you deal with them? How can you handle your relationship with them so that you can help yourself and also maintain healthy relationships with them? It's not for you to go and meet them and carry knives and say, okay, so you have been manipulating me, I'm going to end your life. No, but you're going to either set boundaries or find better ways to, maintain a healthy relationship. So, Engineer Tony, I would like us to start by conceptualizing who a manipulator is.
Who came with the topic? You should tell us who a manipulator is. Me, I was sitting on my own. No, I came to church this morning and you said we are talking about manipulators. You want them to go and block the road, and
no, they won't.
It is such an important topic because you find people manipulating people in every sphere of life.
True.
The husband is manipulating his wife. The wife is manipulating the husband.
True.
The pastor is manipulating his members. The members are manipulating. It's a wall full of manipulations. Everybody is trying to. But you know what the Bible says about that? It says it's worse than witchcraft. If you have every area, especially the rural areas, and everybody is complaining that there's witchcraft here, there's witchcraft there. The Bible says there's something that is worse than that. If you try to manipulate people, you have an origin. And the devil is your origin. Because manipulation is nothing other than Jesus died for you, Jemima, to save you from your sins. And Prudence is saying that one has passed. Now it is your pastor that is the Jesus in your life. Because the sole purpose of manipulation is to get you to believe what I want you to believe.
Yes.
So, in order to get you to believe, I must manipulate you. Why? Because you believed something else. So I must get you to disbelieve what you have believed, and then manipulate you into believing what I want you to believe. Have you had friends, husbands, wives, anything, before they tell you what they want to tell you, they give you a story?
True.
Maybe like, see,
Yeah.
in this life, anything that somebody will do, whether you save money from now to the end, problems will not finish. See, that is why I'm trying to let you know that that 20,000 that we kept, let's go and eat suya with 10,000. What is there? You can't go and kill yourself. I'm manipulating you to believe, because we know that when you have a desire, desires don't last long. Have you noticed? Desires don't last long.
True.
But you see, what is called reality, it lasts longer than desire. You are craving for fish this night. It's just a crave. Before morning, you want to have bread and butter. So if you go all out to look for that fish and you eat it, from the money you are saving in case you fall sick, and sickness comes, and you know how the economy is always dwindling, but somebody is manipulating you to go and break that savings of yours and spend the money for no reason. You might think a craving or a desire, that point, is more important than the reason why you are saving the money. No, you won't know until you spend the money and the reason why you save the money shows up and the money is absent. You have been manipulated to tamper with your future. So you see, manipulation, when you talk about manipulation, honestly, believe me, there are manipulators near every corner in this life you go to.
True. No wonder one time on this show we talked about being smart, like not just being smart, but street smart. Because everywhere is just filled with manipulators.
But you know what?
Mm.
Manipulation is almost like the in thing in the world.
Mhm.
Actually,
The social media you have,
manipulation.
and even if you need great followership, you need to manipulate the app.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If I need you to believe me to do something that is wrong, I need to manipulate you. If you are in business and then you are selling something that is not real, there is a way you convince people to buy it, letting them know that the real one is the fake one. It's manipulation. So everywhere you go to, the brother is telling the sister nonsense so that she will just believe him to
Yeah.
get what he wants. Manipulation.
True.
The market women are telling you this one is the reigning tomatoes. That tomato you used to buy last year, they have stopped producing that kind of tomato. This is a new tomato. It is grown in Zamfara state, the best tomato growing state right now. That is because it's the only one she has available. So she manipulates you into buying it so that she can pick up her tray and go home. Manipulators are everywhere. Manipulators are everywhere.
And I know that some people will begin to think that manipulation just started, or like
No.
the change of world just made manipulation come obvious. But from time, manipulation had been one thing that was always there. The human mind generally wants things to work out his way. And if things don't want to work out your way, you go however you want to make sure that things go your way. And because you're trying to make things go your way, you have to manipulate. So manipulation came out of the desire of people having what they wish for. And instead of you to go through the longer route, it's just better to play with the intelligence of other people and get your results as quick as possible. And we find it in play in our society just like Engineer Tony said, at every corner, I want to go an extra mile and say at every step, because corner is like too long. At every step, you
It's like
find
they have been
manipulators.
manipulated over time.
I think so. I think that a lot of countries are living in, especially African countries, we have a lot of manipulators as rulers. They come all out and tell you certain things, some sub stories that you sometimes when you come back to think of it, you're like, how exactly did we believe this story? There was one story one time about a snake going into a building and eating money. excuse me, how did we ever believe that story to be true? This is
That
manipulation
is if
playing.
we believed in
No,
the
we
first
never
place.
did. We never did. But that was
How
manipulation
can you also
in play.
believe that there was coin in the mouth of a fish?
Okay, now that is now that is and just what he said. A lot of times, people use that to when they're trying to manipulate you to believe something else other than the Bible that we believe in. Sometimes people go all out to say that, in fact, you believing in Jesus Christ in itself is manipulation. How would you continue believing in someone that you have never seen? How do you even believe that he really rose from the dead when they just wrote it down? They're probably just playing with your intelligence. So you have a lot of people going out and telling you things like that, or behaving in certain ways. For instance, there's a story of someone who was really in debt, and he went to beg the person he was owing that, please, I don't have the funds, I don't have the means to pay you back. And that's just because he did not want to pay back. So he went all out, crying, weeping, and it just seemed like, let me just have pity on this person. And they had pity on him and they let him go. But at the end of the day, this same person went out and was flexing outside. He was just chilling. It was time to enjoy. So you have a lot of manipulators that just want things to work their way. And that's basically what manipulation is all about. And as I said earlier, at every step of your life, you find manipulators. So how you unveil them and how you are able to address the situation is what makes or mar you. That's what makes
Jemima,
you
some
married.
people have
When-
actually accused married women of being manipulators in their homes. You want to defend that?
The right
We-
person to
we,
answer.
we have stated earlier that
How who
manipulators
is
are
we? Who
everywhere.
is we? How many people?
It has been stated
Okay.
from the beginning
You are
of
the one
the
they are
show
asking the question.
that manipulators are
As a
everywhere.
married woman, as a Christian
Say
married
sometimes
woman,
people will
do you
request for
people
1,000.
manipulate your husbands? That's the question.
Married women manipulate their husbands.
Okay,
of
all
course.
of them.
So
We won't know because we have not gone to their doorsteps.
Okay. It's like
Yes,
somebody is
but-
guilty. Okay, but go ahead.
No. Married women manipulate. In fact, married people generally
They are talking about the
manipulate
women now.
themselves.
If
Oh,
it's
that's
the men,
just
they
the
will ask
women.
you, so they are
Okay,
they
yes,
are
I'll
asking
get
you.
there. Speak for yourself.
Married women manipulate their husbands, of course. If they want something and it is not forthcoming, they find other means to get that.
E.g.
Men are watching keenly.
E.g.
They manipulate everything.
E.g.
Let's
give
just
us,
stop
give us
there.
examples of the ways that they use.
Budget.
Okay. Probably they want money and that money is not forthcoming and they need it, whether for selfish reasons or for the benefit of the family. It doesn't matter. But then the way they go through getting that is a manipulation process.
How do they go through? What
The
is
people
it?
at Men Association
okay.
are watching you like this.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Okay, there are stories that I have
let me
heard
remind you,
there are
Women
stories
Association are looking
that
at you.
I have heard that okay, a woman needs money to cater for her personal need, and the husband is claiming he doesn't have. So she either goes to a shoe vendor and then pick shoes and say, I need my husband to pay. Let's say that shoe is 3,000 naira. She would tell the husband the shoe is 10,000 naira. So at the end of the day, when they pay that money, the remaining money goes back to her. I know of stories that a woman would say, this is the amount that you should pay for our children's fees. And when he gives it to her, she only needed half of it to pay. But because she wants to extort, she doubles it. And so these are ways of manipulation. The stories are endless. They go on and on and on. And earlier on, when we were talking about the topic, when we say unveiling, it means something was covered all along. Now it is being opened. So when we talk about unveiling manipulators, a lot of times when the word manipulator come to your mind, it's like that person is aggressive, that person is lousy, and he's controlling in a way that everybody can see. But some of the manipulators are so smart, you barely even know
You can't
them.
be a manipulator if you are not
Be
smart.
smart.
Yes, no, some are not smart actually.
Then you
No,
can't
they are
manipulate.
trying to be.
They are trying-
Okay,
yeah.
yes.
This one
So
is
in the
like-
process,
they are
they get
not-
caught. The manipulators have to be very smart, because you can live with a manipulator for years and you would not even know. They have so turned your brain and your mind in such a way that you see that person as the perfect friend, but he is a manipulator all along. So for me to unveil a manipulator, you have to be knowledgeable
About who he
about
is and his
manipulators generally. So when he is bringing a blow to you, you already have an idea. And the best you can do is not to blow him back, is to let him know that you understand what he is doing. Not necessarily through your words, but through actions or other things. That person has an idea that, oh, so you knew what I was doing all along and you made it look like. You have to be knowledgeable. You have to know how they operate, how they do things, how, for you to be able to really get them.
I would like to come this way. You see, when you talk about for you to unveil somebody, you need to know who that person is. And manipulator, for me, I think is somebody that use psychological tactics to either exact control or even influence somebody for his own benefit at the detriment of the other person. And we have a lot of them, like you all established. But there are contexts that you find manipulators. You see, in personal relationship, like interpersonal relationship, you find manipulators. Take, for example, marriage. You find abusive partners, partners that are manipulating the other. When you also go into professional setting, like work environment, you also find manipulators, like people that use psychological tactics to also control other people for their own benefit. And some people will give you examples of having superiors that are controlling or they are manipulative. They just use you for their personal benefit. And in also social interaction, because we live in a world where you have different set of humans and different set of people, different languages, different regions and all of that, and you're bound to interact with them. You also find manipulators there also. And they could be referred to sociopaths, people that are not empathetic at all, like they don't have sympathies, and or you find them in narcissists, like people that think are more important than you are, like they don't see anybody like at their level, so they think that all they can do is to exert control, to use you for their own benefit. And for you to unveil or to identify, you must know the tactics that they actually use and some of their threats. It's just common to find them being charming and even charismatic. Yes, because they are likable. At the first glance, you just feel, oh wow, this person is amazing. I like this person and all of that. They
earn your
they are
trust.
actually charming.
Very.
They are actually charming and likable. They have this charisma, and so it's easy for you to want to just associate with them. And that was why earlier on I said, if you are not smart, you can't be a manipulator, because it takes you need to use psychological tactics beyond the physical. You want to think to be able to influence the person to believe that this is not a cup, it is a bucket. So think about convincing somebody to believe that this is not a cup. It takes a lot. So you have to be smart. You see them, there are people that know people's behaviors, like they can read you, and when they read you, they know you are vulnerable. They know your weaknesses. Like a manipulator can take time to understand your person. When they understand your person, it means they know your weaknesses, they know your vulnerability, and they use that to manipulate you. And you see, manipulators are also deceptive.
Yes.
They distort the truth. They make you believe things that are other than the truth. They give you half truths. They give you lies, and they call it scientific lying. Like, because it's logical and you want to believe. Like, they are placing it for you to see, and how would you say this is not a cup actually? And like they make you believe. So they are very deceptive. And you check, sometimes I just wonder, how gullible can people be? Because if a manipulator comes to you or has been in your life, the words and the action cannot match. Like, it cannot match. Because the person is telling you, for example, I love you. I'm talking about personal relationship now. But the action, in no way is it matching. Because how can somebody say, I'm with you, I love you, you are everything to me, and that moment that you are sick, the person is not available? The moment you are in need, the person is giving you excuses. Or the person does not even care if you are alive or not, but the person is saying, I love you, as much as he or she can use you.
Women.
You know,
No,
Women.
no. Let me give you an example.
Women.
No, let me give you an
Manipulators are
example.
not gender.
No.
Women.
Okay, let me talk about this class of people.
I was actually going to say men because I really do have it.
Women.
Men. Oh my God, men.
See,
Men
have you
are
met
the
this
number
group of
one.
people that will tell you, "Oh, you're this beautiful. I wish I met you before." My wife.
Thank you.
My
very
wife
much.
is just my housemate. It is you that is my partner.
You are my soulmate.
You are my soulmate. Have you
And
met these
if
people
he
that will
had
say,
met
if you are not
before
there,
the wife, nothing would have happened.
do you understand? The person will now tell you that if you leave me, I will die. You are this to me, you are that to me. And what happens?
These
And
are
you know,
these
for
are
some of
just-
them,
is-
they
is-
go back home
These
and
are just
quote words.
figures of speech.
Exaggerations.
Is a figure of speech. It is men can be metaphoric most of the time. In the expression, we may not say what we mean. We just say things that you easily understand.
No, but that's being manipulative. If you don't
We
mean
just
it,
say things. You see, when she was talking, I kept quiet. That is why that woman from Kaduna
why will you say? Why will you say something that you don't mean? That's being manipulative.
No. Joyce, have you ever been a man in your life?
I've not been a man.
That is why
I don't
when
want
a
to
man
be.
is talking to a woman, the
You
woman
shut
should
up.
take notes.
Okay.
Not shut up.
Take
Take
notes.
notes. And when the woman is speaking to us, if there is sense in what she's saying, we will listen. But the problem with you is that you say one thing, you act 100 different ways. You can never understand a man if he speaks to you in the reality of what he means. You will never understand. He must say it the way it is appealing to you and the way you understand. And these are most of the time mistaken to be lies. No, it's just it's a conduct.
But you said he does not mean it. That's
By
my point.
by saying does not mean it does not mean that's not what in his mind. He does not mean it means he cannot say it the way it is in his mind. You will not understand. So he says it even the way he doesn't mean it, but the way you understand.
So that's the point, that he mixes the truth and
It's not even lying.
lies.
It's not lying. It's not lying, right? You have 2 cars in your house, and there are keys to these cars. What are they called? All of them.
car keys.
Can the car of Honda start the car of Toyota?
No.
But are they not car keys?
Yes.
They are all car keys. They might even look similar. But when you put it in, it might even enter the ignition, but it may not twist it. I'm not teaching men something that is wrong. But I'm just saying that if you tell a woman you love her and you really mean it, even when you visit her when she's sick, when you do that, you visit her when she's sick, she'll say, he only came without anything in his hands. And if he didn't come, she'll say, he didn't even come to see me. And if you called, you say he only called, he didn't come. And if you called and came, she will say he only called, he came, he didn't bring anything. And if he brought something, she will say he only brought 2 mangoes. You see, that is why sometimes women are not easy to love. And you know it. You are not easy to love. And when you look at, I know that's not what we're talking about, but since we're talking about
No, it's part of
manipulation,
it, because
and
you find
brought
that
it
in
up,
relationship.
and you brought it up. So let's deal with it. When a man gets tired of expressing his love the way he understands love, and you see it as though the other person that is always bringing stuff is the one who loves you. If the other person is richer, he will kill you with stuff and not mean the love. I have said that all the time.
True.
He may not even have the chance. He can send somebody from his office, take these things to Prudence. And when she sees, oh, he's thinking about me. Do you know why he said take it to Prudence? Maybe he's with Martha. How do you know? You will never know. So if that is what you want, there are people who want a manipulative man to love them. Why? Because he tells me the things I want to hear, not what he means.
Is it possible for a man to love a woman and then you don't see it?
Who the woman?
Yes.
It depends on what she's seeing and what he is showing.
Because I know love.
Because I can
Love
show
is
you
not a
love.
noun, it's a
Joyce,
verb.
Joyce, yes, but I can show
No matter
you.
what she
I
sees,
can
she should
show
see
you-
some elements of that love.
You are saying it because you are Jemima.
You know,
Prudence does not want elements.
I
Prudence
actually-
wants total package. You, your own, you are saying, even if it's small, show me. Me, I don't want small, I want all. You see how different women are? So when you meet a woman, find out. I will always say this without stopping. Find out, how does she wants to be loved? There are women that see materialistic things as love.
True.
There are other women whose parents tell them, look on the heart. That's where you know. Okay, and when you are looking on the heart, there are a lot of things you consider. Joyce is sick. You come to work, you even lie. We are taking our grandmother to the hospital. Meanwhile, she died 40 years ago. And then they'll be like, oh, how long? Just 1 hour, 30 minutes, I'll be back. And you go, like, Solo, please, can you borrow me 500? Okay, and you go out, you buy mango 300, you buy this 100. I just came to see, I even lie at the office that, please take this, I'll see you when I close. And you go, you'll be like, oh, he loves me. That is your love language. And if he knows, he would work hard towards making you happy. And that is what love means to you. But you see another man, how are you? Will she die before 4? You are closing by 4. Go and see her by 4. And that is a man that will close by 4 and stay with you till you are asleep. But he didn't bring anything. That's what love means to him. But you see, women want you to manipulate them into believing you love them.
I mean, some women.
Some women, actually.
It's every woman.
No.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
Okay. It's not every woman. It's not every woman. Okay, Joyce, if I come to you and I tell you that I love you, and you accept, and you call me 2 weeks later, and I'm MIA, meaning missing in action, and I still tell you I love you, and I really do, you say you don't believe it because that is how you want to be loved. And that is how I love. I love without seeing the person until I'm married to the person. There are men like that.
No.
A man will tell you,
that's
listen,
not a
am I not the one making my point?
No,
I'm the
let
one
him make the
making my
point. Let's not look like, okay.
You see, you know, that's how you are. It's your nature. That's why it's difficult for you to find love.
You know,
You
someone-
don't listen. You don't listen. When the man is talking, you have said 5. How can you have peace in the relationship?
We were all shouting.
But that's it. Did you see me shouting? No, I'm making my point. So you see, the man can tell you, honestly, if I'm alone with this girl, I will not help it. I will sleep with her. And I vowed to myself, I want to sleep with her after I have married her. He may not tell you that. You might consider it as weakness. Because the man is high up there thinking. You are low down there thinking. So your love language is, at least you should see me 3 times a week. And the guy is saying, this 3 times a week, chances are that, oh. And you don't know that. And when he tells you, you'll be like, your friend can even advise you he's covering up. Maybe he's with another person. And he really mean it. He calls you, how are you? And you say, this call is not what I'll eat. To come and see me. Or you want me to come and see you? Worse. No. He's with somebody else. No. You must understand that this love is being defined by people, that this is how it is. But it is accepted beyond definition by everybody individually, how they see it.
Okay.
No, but that's actually legitimately true. And
So
I'm
if I
actually
don't start
agreeing with
loving
that.
you based on I want to see you all the time, that's what it means to you. Some people just want you to hold them while you talk to them. Some people want to have a conversation on phone. Some people like it when you travel out with them. So everybody has what cuts out for him when it comes to love. So if you are telling me that this is what you want as Joyce, and I'm in love with you, and I say, Kai, because I love this girl, let me stop being who I am so that I can satisfy Joy, and Joyce will understand truly that I love her. What do you call that? It's a good manipulation.
It is. It's actually manipulation. I think that the thing is, when we talk about love, everybody relates on a different way.
Of course.
I personally was in a situation one time where someone was approaching me, and this person was very overly expressive of how he feels. Okay, this is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I want. This is how I want it. But it wasn't resonating with me. I wasn't thinking that way. No, so I felt like he was just being overly, I don't know, maybe he was lying and just flattering me and things like that. That was me playing out. So
did you tell him that's what you were thinking?
yes, I did, but
Okay.
and that was my reason to say no.
Okay, what did he say?
He said, "Why do I think that he's not being serious?"
Can you see, if you had given him chance after saying no, he would have started acting the way you want.
it.
Yes, exactly.
You see, he would act the way you, just so that.
He will get so at the end of the day, it's just when you find manipulation in relationships, most of the time is because this person wants to appease the partner, but this doesn't necessarily last, because how long do you expect to keep being who you're not? I know sometimes they say you start doing something and it becomes a habit, but it's not always true. There are some things that
Especially
you just get
when
tired
the
of.
woman is not living up to expectations as well.
Exactly.
There
So
are times that the
because
man
it-
does not live up to expectations.
Many times, not there
Many
are times,
times.
many
Yes.
times. Because you see, Jamima, compatibility is more important than the love. It is the only reason why you should be in love.
True.
If I'm not compatible with you, we will be fighting.
True.
Even though it is working, there are cars that have bigger batteries, but the compartment for the battery is small. Does it mean that the battery will not work? No, it will work, it will start the car. But before long, when you enter gallops and all that, the battery will shift to a position that the battery should not be in. And it's going to cause another problem to a different body part of that car.
Exactly.
It's the same thing with relationship.
true.
When you don't find compatibility in relationship, you put an end to it. You don't have to force yourself. Joyce is not the only tall, beautiful, uneducated girl you can find. Joyce is always expecting that I will say something. That's why I'm saying it. Anytime you don't expect it, I will not say. But if you expect it, I know your mind. I will say it. Ask Martha when she was going out with that shoe shiner. They had problems of compatibility. Ask her, she's here. I told her, I said, Martha, leave that guy. You are not compatible. That's when the shoe shiner. Is he? I don't know where he is now. Has he gone back to Michika? So honestly, Joyce, compatibility is key in every relationship, because being compatible means maybe there is an opening where something fits in. If that thing fitting in is bigger or is smaller, it will wobble. It will not just fit in. If there is a hand to keep something, the hand is not big enough to hold the thing, it will fall. That's why we talk about compatibility. This is a table, but it has a size. If we bring something bigger than the table, it will not hold it. It will either wobble and fall if the sides projecting out are heavier and bigger and maybe longer. It will fall the other way. So compatibility, look at the other table. It is the same size as this. When you tumble it and keep it on this, it stays as long as it is kept that way. But when you bring a bigger table, it will fall off. So in every relationship, if you don't have the issue of compatibility, chances are that there will be serious manipulations just so that it will appear to be like there is a fitting, but there is none.
A lot of times I know that people tend to define love their own way or try to give it a definition, and a lot of arguments around that. But for me, the basics and the foundation is Christ's love, and where I see him because he so loved, he gave. And that's why Professor asked the question, can there be love without giving? And the context was money. And some people were saying, no, it's not possible. Some people were saying no. And you see, all of them had their arguments, and very valid.
Basically, money plays a role heads and shoulders above every other role. Because Joyce, no matter how you are loved in the absence of cash, you will make demands. You that I know. You want shawarma, you want this. How many times did I call you? You are in juice and what? Shawarma, what and what? How many times? Go and walk. Finish. Have you finished the walk? No, I just came to satisfy my craving. I will go back and finish. I keep a gamma, but Monday will come and start all over. You see, that's the issue. When you say money is not important in any love, and I don't mean it like, you need money to take care of the home. You need money to take care of the person you say you love. How can you be carrying 1 week and you have a boyfriend? He should be able to see the need and say, wow, this week looks very good.
But are you aware
But how
that
much
people
is the second one?
manipulate with even the money? Because there are men that will give you the money. You want to change your hair, you want to buy clothes, you want to do this, but they are not available emotionally. They are not available physically.
The
Like
girl-
they
the
know
girl
that you
should
should,
be wise
so
to
they
keep-
manipulate
The
you
girl
with the
should
money.
be wise to keep collecting the money while she has a stable relationship somewhere.
In marriage, how do you deal with that? You're married to the person and he always gives you the money to buy food, to take care of yourself, yet he's not available physically
Joyce,
and emotionally. How do you handle that? Isn't that manipulation?
Why do
It
women
is.
think that marriage cannot turn out to be a cross? Why?
Now for some people, that's
It is
their
a cross
though.
for some people.
No, for some people, it is all rosy. When it turns sour, they start looking for options like divorce. No, You see, the only reason, I don't care what reason you are in a love relationship, but the moment you want to go into a marriage, your reasons are all different. What is the reason why a man and woman should marry? In sickness and in health, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer. If you don't agree, don't marry. That's the only reason. You are mushy mushy during love and all that. No, there's no for better, for worse at that time. But the
For better.
have you ever seen for better, for worse? When they were buying suya for you, picking you up, dropping you at your parents' house after seeing you. Is there for better, for worse there? No. That is the reason why you left another man to marry the man you are with. That's the reason why he also at some point left 2 other women, or 3 or 4 or 50, as the case may be, I don't know, to come and stay with you. Now that he has agreed to stay with you, the word of God is saying, if you have agreed this time around that you are crossing to be called married, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health. So that emotionally unavailability emotionally that you are talking about it is a cross. When it gets to that point, you have agreed. It's a no return.
On the part of the man now, where you have a wife that always manipulates you. In this, Jemima gave an example earlier how they inflate prices. Like, oh, the money for the food is this. How do you do that?
Every woman does that.
I beg to
That's
disagree,
because
but then
Every woman does
Prices in the
that.
market.
Every woman.
are you
does
aware there are women that top up the money that they are being given?
God bless them wherever they are.
So it means
You know,
not every
that's-
woman.
no,
every woman.
Joyce, let me tell you. Go and sit with your mom and ask her sincerely. Have you ever taken 100 naira from upkeep money to buy credit? Just ask her. Or have you ever taken 200 to buy earring in the market? Or have you ever used the money that daddy gave you for food, even if it's 500, to do something different other than the... Ask her. Then
Would that-
tomorrow...
would
Do
that
you
be
still
called-
live in the
would
same
that
house?
be called
Yeah,
manipulation?
but it's
Wait now.
No.
She's not talking about manipulation.
Yes.
She's talking about that. So
We
ask
stay
her.
in the same house.
Okay, so ask her tomorrow if Jesus decides to collect the days that he has borrowed us,
Yeah.
then we will not have the opportunity to do this. But if Jesus decides to leave us to see tomorrow, come and tell me how many times she has wronged the Lord and her husband in that sense. You, for now, whatever you say, I will not count. You are not in that position, so you cannot be judged. But if we are going to ask,
Now the point
if we are going to ask,
the point is now, how do you handle that situation where you have a partner that is being abusive or
no,
manipulative?
Joyce, if my wife takes 5,000 from feeding money to buy something else, why should I frown? Why should I frown? But if she takes that, right, from the money for feeding, and she says, since I married you, what have you done to me? Have you heard women saying
Of
that?
course,
Yes.
of course.
Tunda na oreka make aimu.
Or that's my what's mistake getting married to you.
Do you understand? But you forgot that there was a time you were in need, even if it was 100 naira need. It was my money that took you out of that need. Even if it was a 500 naira need, it was my money that took you out of that need. When you were sick, it was my money that gave you healing. When you were broke, you asked for 500, I gave you 100 naira. But at least you are not still looking for 500.
I think when they say that, they don't mean this. They mean mighty project.
Like what?
Major things.
Like what?
They don't mean the 100
Like
naira,
what?
the 500.
Like what?
Plenty things.
People
big
that
ones.
have been married for 20 years, multiply the 100 naira by 20 years.
No,
You see that you are thinking as a lady that way. I'm thinking as a man the other way. You can never.
But technically, the thing is,
And
a
it's
lot of
amazing
times-
how I'm winning 3 women on set.
no.
Hey, you
Not
see why you
necessarily.
will never make it in marriage. No,
not necessarily.
you will always argue with your husband. But you know what? As men,
It's not
as men,
necessarily-
when you argue with us, we just say it's fine, it's okay.
You just said you
we-
never make
we
it
will
to marriage,
keep-
but
no,
I'm married.
It's no. It's a plural. I don't mean you as Jemima. It's plural in women.
you
with
know,
women.
someone said,
Any
was
man,
actually-
any man that wants to audit his wife to the nitty-gritty of living together, everything,
He's just going to
whatever
have
she
a
does,
headache.
you are wasting your time.
Honestly.
Because you spend your life auditing woman that you never win. Even if she's caught, she will say something and the society will believe her more
That's
than you.
the point I was
there's
about to
point.
make, because-
you just keep doing your best. When they say you are not doing it well, keep doing your best. When they say you are good, keep doing it. Because sometimes when you are sleeping, you hear hands all over you. In the morning, there is a request. That's the reason. It's
Let's
not
move
anything
away
bad.
from marriage. Let's move away from marriage now, because
See who brought us into
Yeah,
this.
no, I want
this
us to
whole,
move away from marriage right now, because like it exists as well. And you talked earlier about carrying your cross, but what is more important? This thing is witchcraft. Like sometimes people
It's
think
worse than.
it's
That's what
worse
the
than
Bible
people think that you fly in the night, but when you deceive somebody
Matters doesn't.
for you, when you
She's
deceive,
marrying in August.
when you deceive someone for your own benefit at his or her own detriment, is totally wrong. The psychological impact or the impact on that person is something that one wouldn't want to imagine.
You know,
it's
actually
not something
unacceptable.
that it's not
It's not
something that
something-
anybody should actually want to be in. And that's why it's important that if you are into that as a married person, if you're manipulating your husband or you're manipulating your wife, it's something that you should desist from. Because for some people, they think that once I deceive you to marry me, there's nothing you can do. That's
You
why
know-
some people
you
can
know the
even
thing
join
is-
some groups in the church just so that they can get a
Get
particular
a
girl,
particular
or the man can pretend to be who he is not, just so that he can get, probably because of what she thinks she says that love means to her. But beyond the married people, children also manipulate their parents, and I would like you to respond to that quickly.
There is no
I
man.
remember.
There's
But-
no
but-
man that is married to his wife
Mm.
that did not manipulate at one point or the other.
Really?
Yes, you have to look at what does she want.
So you
Then
deceive her.
you do a lot of what she wants, because that's the
But
only
that's
way you
wrong.
can.
Well,
It's not wrong.
I'm not
Joyce.
so sure
Wait
if it
now,
is
you will marry
manipulation.
now. We will see.
You are engaging
I'm
in something
coming.
that is worse than witchcraft.
No,
And
it's not.
Excuse
It's
me,
not.
can I
you
say-
see,
can I ask you a
the-
question,
The
please?
manipulation. The
Where is-
manipulation
can I
is
say
not.
something?
The manipulation is not a negative manipulation. It's a positive
there's
one.
no positive
Exactly.
manipulation.
Okay, hold on. Can I say something?
Joyce,
Please,
calm down.
calm down,
Joyce.
please. Let's.
A man can just come to you and say, I love you, and not care about what you want. Not care about how he should get you. Not care about what it will take to make you his.
I mean, be true.
I'm asking you now.
True.
Answer the question. I'm asking you.
No, you should care about all
How
of
do
that.
I do it?
By doing
You
this,
try
I'm
to do
asking
those
Joyce.
things.
I'm asking Joyce. Jemima and Prudence, be quiet. I'm asking Joyce.
I mean, I would like us to actually move. I'm actually in charge. I'll let
Any-
us
Wait,
But
before we move, let me just say this.
Anytime they
I
are
would not
querying Joyce,
necessarily say
if we
that.
start querying Joyce, you say let she decides not to answer. You see,
Can I say
but
something?
the truth is, every man that goes to a woman, he will look at what she wants at that point in time.
How long can you sustain that?
He will try his best. You see, all of these things come. You see, the reason why he wants is to get you. And when he gets you, you also have a responsibility to make him keep you. There is no man. Do you know what the Bible says about living with a nagging woman? Do you know what he says? What does Proverbs say? It's better to what?
Top of the roof.
Top of the roof.
Than to you. Do you understand what that means? So the woman has a role to play. She has a role to play. Why do you think men are coming home buying suya and all of that? They want peace to reign.
Manipulate.
You see,
They
so
want peace
I
to reign.
wouldn't
That
say
one
that it
impress.
is
They are
manipulation.
trying to impress.
I
See,
wouldn't-
see,
wouldn't
because she
use-
wants to eat suya.
I wouldn't even use that.
Please allow Prudence to make this
I think
point.
it's a compromise. You get to a point where you have to let. This is what love does to you. You get to a point where you have to let some certain things that you love go because you
See
you
who
are
has
looking
never
at.
fallen in love. She says she has never had. She doesn't have it. And we don't know where she's getting this
And
point.
she has been itching to talk.
Please.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Lie to us. Go
I
ahead,
read
lie
a lot
to
of
us.
Based on
things.
theoretical
I
perspective.
read a lot of things. I watch a lot of things.
That
I'm
does
a
not
very
count.
observant
It is
person.
zero.
And you live with your parents.
Exactly.
And you have been manipulating
And
them.
you still said no.
Go ahead.
Right
Compromise.
now, I wish I had not said no.
Compromise.
Oh,
Your
you see,
generation.
you see. If he had shown her what she wanted to see, they would have been in love by now.
Talk about compromise.
But the point is, you just need to reach a point where you understand that certain things need to go for you to be able to get what you really need. And I wouldn't say at that point that it is manipulation, because you're really honest that this is what you want and you're going all out for it, and you're putting the other person into consideration as well. It's not something that you're doing because you just want that person to think exactly the way you think or do exactly the way you're perceiving. You're doing these things hopeful that there's going to be a result at the end of the day. So on that base, I don't see necessarily that everything that goes on when someone tries to do, for instance, when they say teach your spouse how to love you, does not necessarily mean that this person has to do exactly, but he or she is moving in line with what you need. So that is just a place of compromise where you come together and understand each other and give each other what you need to make the relationship go ahead. And it also plays along in life in general. When we're talking about manipulators, they dehumanize the person. They don't really look at you like a human being, as like a fellow human being. They actually think they're superior. And because they think they're superior, they think that what they are thinking is the right thing. Whatever you're thinking is not right. So they go all out to make sure that you're doing exactly what they are thinking.
You know what I'm about to tell
Okay,
Engineer
before
Tony
you say
right
that,
now. No, let me respond
before
to
you
this.
say that,
Yes.
let me say something.
No, I want to
Yes.
say something.
That
We are going to get to that point.
that might not be outrightly true. There is a psychological manipulation.
Tactics.
You are just being tactical. That's right. And if even in the office, it works. There are times I go to my bosses. I thank God they are not watching. I go to my
There's a
bosses and I
replay.
tell them what they want to hear, and then the next thing, we are credited in the station. Because if you keep going with the same need every now and then, don't you grow from that need? But at that point, you have to do some manipulations. You come back, it's psychological. Some of these things you have to be tactical. You go that this is your subvention, but you go and cry. You say, this time we have had this issue, and we believe if you give us this is what we are going to do. And they already know your capability, so why do you have to re-explain?
But that's not manipulation.
See, Joyce, sometimes you say something and turn out and say another thing.
When
In this case, it's not manipulation.
My point here is that maybe there are other words that we should use, because if manipulation is worse than witchcraft and the Bible is against it, so there's no sweeter way to put
I am
it,
not saying
or
that
right way.
she said that you have to make the other. I say in most cases it's not that. We are talking about the situation now, not the word. We are talking about the situation when you find yourself. Is using other means
to get what you want.
outside the conventional means to solve a problem, not to get what you want. Because when you say get what you want, it sounds like manipulation. But to solve a problem, there are times that you find out that a man has cheated and the wife caught him, and he knows that the only person the wife listens to is that her uncle. Even if he's on the wheelchair, they will push him and bring him to the house. What do you think that is? It's just a psychological way of dealing with issues, So when you talk about manipulation, it is vast.
And earlier on, when you were trying to explain manipulation, you said it is the intent of the person trying to control you. Now, is when the intent is bad that it is really seen as manipulation. But the example he gave now, he caught the wife cheating, and he doesn't want to go the way everybody goes. You cheated, leave my house, and all of that. He's going through someone she listens to. It's still manipulation, but it's not a bad one.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, it gives you results.
Okay,
And there was
Joyce,
another example he gave
I'll give
about
one again after you.
I think a relationship or a marriage. A man wants you, and he has to go around and check, okay, what are the things you like? What do you he does all of those things.
They are called background checks.
It is manipulation, but it is a good one. It is for the benefit
I
of
stand
the
outrightly
family.
against.
At that point, he is trying to impress. How else do you think people go to relationships
I don't
and
know,
get,
Joyce,
and
so
get
how-
married?
okay.
He is trying to impress you, but
Mommy-
his intention at that
Mommy
point,
Tabitha, what's the name of your son?
he's trying to impress you, but at that point, it is for good. You agree that there is a manipulation that is good.
Joyce,
You are trying to
Okay,
agree
okay.
with
Let's
There's
something
hear
that
nothing
is
something.
not
good about manipulation.
Okay,
I will
Joyce,
never
Joyce,
accept
Joyce,
that.
Joyce,
My
to
dear.
get married to
let
you.
us agree on something. We have agreed with your point. We have agreed with your point, and everybody has an opinion.
Of
We
course.
are not speaking on behalf of Ekwa here.
no,
It's everybody: Tony, Jemima, Prudence, and Joyce.
True.
How will a man get you to fall in love with him? Let's hear.
Please don't manipulate me.
No, that's not an answer. How? Give us an example.
No, say an example,
Yes.
then we pull it out from there.
How would a man
Get you to fall in love with him.
I don't think I should. It's for the public. This is too personal for me.
No, because okay, generally, how
I just
should a
want
man-
I
Okay,
just want the
generally-
man to
generally,
begin. Come
gen-
as you who you are.
Eh.
You don't need to play any, like, there's place for compromise. But I don't believe in any form of
we are
manipulation.
not leave
just
that
to
out.
get
Leave
me.
that out. We agree with your point that you have laid. Leave that out.
So if you see me and you like me, come as who you are.
And tell you.
if you are who I want, I will also accept you. But for you to manipulate me to accept you
Joyce,
is a no.
how would he know? How would you know what he wants, and how would he know what you want?
He has seen me.
Yeah.
Because for me, I don't even know who he is, for example. And then you come to me and then you say you like me. Probably, maybe there's an existing relationship. Let's say friendship now. And you come and you say you want to go a step further. You've been friends with me, and then you've seen that I'm the kind of woman that you want. I also want to. Are you the kind of person that I know based on my friendship with you? If you are who I
How
want,
does he
I
know the
accept
kind
you.
of woman that you are?
That's best known to him. I can't tell that like what he saw in me that
So
he wants.
if a man comes, you just like him. You don't care about the information he has of you. You just fall in love.
No.
But that's what we are saying.
There are conversation, definitely. That's why I say if there's existing relationship or friendship between myself and him, then I can tell that if I actually like him to accept him. But on his own part, he has what he wants. Like somebody told me that you are the kind of person I want as a wife. Like this is when I saw you and having related with you, like this is the woman that I want as wife. So he actually explained.
Are you giving an example, or somebody told you that?
Yes, what someone told me, and he actually said the things that he has always trusted God for in his woman, and he saw that, and that is why he's coming to say that I should marry him. But on my own part, I know him for some time and we've been friends. There are things also that I'm trusting God for in my husband, and partly I didn't see that. So I said, let me also consult my God. And for some reasons, I said no. It didn't stop us from being friends or anything. But you see, he didn't have to play the role of
That's
what
true.
I
That's true.
wanted.
Did you like him as a person?
I do.
Okay. If he had these qualities, would you be willing to settle with him?
Of course.
Do people develop qualities?
They do.
Okay. What if you are just friends and suddenly these qualities are developed beyond expectation?
I'll accept.
What does that mean?
It's not manipulation.
I'm not asking you what it doesn't mean. I ask you, what does that mean?
It means that the person have grown, you have evolved.
Based on
you have-
what?
What you wanted.
It's not
of
based
him.
on what I want.
No,
I don't understand that he has.
What if?
know
Okay,
something-
exactly. Let me ask
Why is
another
not based
question.
on what he wants?
What if,
Why did he change who he is?
See, the basic
Okay,
point
let
for
me-
me,
let me ask
so that we
another
don't
question,
argue
right?
about this. So
No,
that
it's
we
good. People are learning from the argument.
Exactly, but so that we don't argue about
No, let me
this.
ask this question. If he was that person you wanted and eventually you ended up getting married, somewhere in the marriage you were seeing other things that were not going down well with you, and you were able to talk to him about it,
Exactly.
and eventually he found a way to come back and you guys were back on track, wouldn't that also be in
Joyce,
positive
will you just
manipulation?
stop?
It's
Will you
not
just-
manipulation.
Joyce,
It's not- there's
Joyce,
nothing
Joyce.
like
Because he's
manipulation.
coming to be that person you want to be.
There's
He's not
no, it's
coming
like you didn't
because-
get the definition of
I
what
got it.
manipulation
I
is.
Who defined it? Who defined
You
it?
can't.
I
Joyce,
got
do you
The
manipulate votes?
Bible
Do you manipulate
explain
votes?
what manipulation is.
That's
There's
what
nothing
I
good
thought. Out
or
of which
positive.
context? Out of what context?
That's what I'm saying.
Manipulation is an English word. It's an
Biblically,
English word. Joyce, if we are going
There's
through a road
nothing
and
good.
the road is blocked, can't we manipulate our way?
this context, I as far as
No,
I'm concerned,
you
there's
see,
nothing
sometimes-
good. You can't tell me
sometimes-
positive manipulation or good manipulation.
Sometimes when we carry
No,
English
I
word,
think that
when we
it's
carry
from the
English word,
intention, it's
when
the
we carry
intent.
English word and think because it is in the Bible, this is you go and check the language the Bible was
and that
written
is why I
and
said
all of that.
personally, my context and what I believe in is scriptural. That the Bible says that manipulation is worse than witchcraft. And there is no way that this can be sugar-coated for me to believe that it's good or positive.
I think the Bible even
I
said the
get-
spirit of manipulation.
So I cannot. There's nothing good about manipulation. Like I said earlier on, like a psychological tactic, something you engage in, so that you can exert control for your own selfish benefit at the detriment of
Did
the other
we
person.
not agree earlier that is
Then-
wrong?
Then I want to say, oh, there's a good one. the good one is
It's
when
not-
you do this or when you do that. For me, that's
Don't
my
we,
own
don't
take.
we have
Did-
positive
did-
and
did we-
negative thinking?
Did
That
we
is
not-
why I
yes,
said for
we
me,
do.
Don't
I
we
don't
have
see
positive
anything
and
good.
negative
I
So
thinking?
you don't need to convince me.
I
Maybe
think
you have
that-
your take that there are good angles and
yeah.
there are
Nobody is
positive
convincing
angles.
you. We are just
But
talking
then-
about it based on where we
No, I'm
stand.
just making my
I'm-
point that I don't believe that there's anything good
Okay,
about manipulation.
I think where
Fine.
we are at is the fact that we are working with a word.
No, you just
So
speak for
we're talking
yourself.
about
Where
we're
you
talking
are
about
at.
manipulation, right?
Uh-huh.
And because we're talking about manipulation, when sometimes what we're bringing in, if you want to use it in the context of manipulation itself, it's not necessarily what people understand as manipulation, and some of the things that we're bringing in are actually. I'm trying to look for a better word. Earlier, when you used the word impression, you're trying to give an impression. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're manipulating someone. Certain times when you have to compromise in a situation, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're being manipulative. So, for instance, the illustration he was giving of going before your bosses to give an impression of the things that you want to do so that you get what you need for the organization. That's not necessarily manipulation. It's giving an impression. So when we're talking about manipulation and we're talking about certain other words that are similar, that all tend to making things work your way, you would definitely have this back and forth that
I
we've
mean,
been
I
having.
actually wanted us to look at manipulation at workplace, manipulation as far as social interaction is concerned. Unfortunately, our time is
Push it
actually
to next week. Let's do a part two.
unfortunately, our time is actually fast spent. But we're going to definitely continue this conversation because there's actually need for us to go deeper. But like we all established, manipulation exists in almost all spheres of life. Everybody on this show have said his or her own perspective, and just like we earlier established, this is not the standpoint of Equa, or this is not the standpoint of we're not speaking your own. Maybe you have your own perspective as well, but everybody has shared his or her own take as far as manipulation is actually concerned. But it's important, like we said, you unveil, not just recognize, but you address manipulators in your life so that you can have healthy relationship, and so that you can also like have your mental health in check. And don't forget that we also mentioned that some of the context where you find manipulation is in personal relationship, professional setting, as well as social interaction. Manipulators can be charismatic and charming. They are likable at first glance, but you have to be mindful they are deceptive. Manipulators are also like, they read people, they can know your weaknesses and your vulnerability, and they take advantage of that as well. So check your relationship, be it personal, professional, and social interaction. Who are the people that have been deceiving you? Who are the people that have been making you take decisions that are to your detriment, but they are like for their own benefit? And you need to put that in check as well. Thank you, engineers Tony J. Kali. Thank you, Jemima. Thank you, Prudence. Like at the end of the show, it almost looked like you all are my co-debaters, but it was amazing doing all of this with you.
Just because you have the final words does not mean you should look at look down on the points that we made earlier.
You all
Next week Thursday, if Jesus does not come back, I'm the one anchoring this show.
but let me tell you something. You know, a professor once said that as a man, when women are papa, help yourself to just walk away, because you can never win the argument.
He's a professor in whatever it is.
You will not win the argument by nature.
I don't have to win the argument. You know, Joyce, when I talk to women, I leave time to prove the point. It will always do. The women always come back and say, if I listen to you, I will just laugh and say, let's buy sweet and celebrate over your tears.
Men are actually logical by nature. Men are actually logical. Men are, they're always thinking. There are a lot of things to deal with.
Your thoughts don't go past your shadows.
We'll see you next week with another package. Like, same on manipulation. Next Thursday. But tomorrow we'll be here to discuss social media and issues around that. You stay blessed. Thank you.